I should have been recording. That would have been a good like intro thing. I do like Muna, so I didn't realize they even had a new album coming out.
Yeah, it just dropped today, and it's a banger. Every single song, I was like, this is amazing. This is incredible. I need to make a reel to this song.
Is it all like poppy, like dancey stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's all very poppy and dancey.
They're a band I wouldn't mind seeing in person.
Oh,
I think that'd be fun.
1,000%. They would be so good. I was also right now. There's all of the porch show, like porch concerts or whatever are getting like the dates are getting announced. Like down in the cities, they have Porch Fest.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, they're like people sign up to host a concert like at their house or at their business or like
maybe I
at their
have.
patio or whatever.
Okay.
And it's so cool. I've always wanted to go. But then also, like, I feel like Muna would be so good as like a small scale show in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, because they're like dynamic, but they're also like intimate in a weird way.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, you already know the drill.
I sit still, keep my mouth close to the microphone, try to not breathe
It was funny
directly into
watching.
it. Can you hear like when I drink a Diet Coke?
I'll show you what it was.
Okay, no. Okay.
So not
great.
really anything.
Excellent.
It's like a tiny sound.
Okay, great.
Oh, cheers our Diet Cokes.
Cheers, TGIF.
This is the first caffeine I've had today. I didn't have time for coffee this morning.
What? I had coffee.
I laid in bed too long.
Sometimes I do that. And then I'm like, I think it's actually time for a matcha. Like if it's past 10 a.m., I'm like, if it's my first caffeine of the day, I want a nice matcha instead.
What I hate whenever I get somewhere and things like start later than planned, like this morning,
Right.
Everything was like 15 minutes running late, which then told me I had 15 minutes I could have worked with to get coffee if I knew this, but
yeah,
it's not the way the world works.
No, hindsight's 20/20.
And there's the intro song. Okay, so shall we do this?
We shall. So the first time that Scottie and I met was at Harold's, which is our favorite bar. We're regulars there. Frequent flyer miles are being currently accrued. And I was coming from work, I think, and you were sitting in the corner booth, which is our favorite corner booth, which like just keeps getting more and more packed the more friends that we have join us at Harold's. But
you literally can't fit any more chairs on that tiny little edge.
You can't. And everybody just wants to like be like butt to butt in that booth, and there's not enough room. But on this day, there was you, Danielle, and Gavin in that booth already. And I came in late from work and joined you guys. And Danielle at the time was like one of my very close friends, and she and I like worked together. I think it's still at that point. But she had started Lady Boss in Fargo, and that had gotten really successful. And they were kind of fielding an acquisition offer. Basically, another company in town wanted to buy that. Yeah, it was that day. And she was like, we just got this offer. This is crazy. I can't believe this. What should I do? Do I want to work for this other company with this thing that I created, or do I just want to take the payout? So she and I were talking through that. And then I honestly don't know what you and Gavin were doing, because you and Gavin were really close friends at that point. I don't think you were as close of friends with Danielle yet. And I think you had long hair. I'm pretty sure that when we first met, you had long hair.
Yeah, I wish I could remember like
when you cut it.
Yeah, was this?
I think this was 2019.
Yeah, I would have had long hair. I don't think I cut it until the pandemic.
It was either 2019 or it was like right before pandemic 2020. It actually might have been right before pandemic 2020, like January.
Okay, yeah.
And so, yeah,
that makes sense because Gavin and I were still working together even then.
Yeah. And that's the first time that I met you, but like we didn't hang out or anything like during any of that time, during all of pandemic. I feel like you and I didn't really get close until, I don't know, like, was it spring of 2021 almost? Like,
probably, yeah.
You and Danielle were really, really close friends. And then Danielle and I were becoming like really, really close friends at that point, like outside of work relationships. And I feel like when I would hang out with Danielle, I would hang out with you because we would all three hang out. And then we just became like this little trio.
Yeah, I think it was the pandemic really, like my relationship to people and community in Fargo I'd started making I'd met a lot of friends and I was starting to make kind of connections of, oh, these are the people that I kind of want to spend more time with. It's more convenient, whatever. And then the pandemic happened. And then in a weird way, it forced me to figure out
Like
what
your
my
core group.
yeah, because you're trying to be careful and safe,
Yep.
being downtown. It helped with Danielle, because she worked downtown. It was easy for us to find time to be basically create our little bubble.
Right.
Yeah. So that must have been what it was, because I feel like, when did your big life change happen around that time? Was that the end of 2020?
No, that was spring of 2021. So
Okay.
spring of 2021, I lost 160 pounds in the form of an X.
Wow,
And
that
that's,
was so,
you were like, wait, you did? What?
well, in my mind, I was like, I don't remember you being that
being
big.
300 pounds.
What a beautiful way to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you Taylor Swift?
Yeah. I also have an album coming out soon. No, so that spring was when that happened, and that I think, when you're in a really long-term relationship, like we had been married for 9 years, and so when you're in such a long-term relationship, it can be difficult depending on the relationship, to make solo friends, like to make friends yourself that aren't necessarily your partner's friends. And so prior to that point, I don't think I prioritized really making any new solo friends outside of work. And when I worked at Others in downtown Fargo, RIP, that's when I made so many of my close friends that I even have today, where it was just they started off as customers, it started off as coworkers, like Danielle and I started off as coworkers. And then those people grew into my closest friends. And so then when I got divorced, it just opened up the possibilities of all of these new friends that I hadn't really prioritized before.
Let's back up for a second, because a 9-year marriage at your young, ripe age, that's a lot.
Yeah, I got married when I was 20.
Yeah, what is that story? How did that happen?
We met at summer camp, which when you grow up in evangelical Christianity, really there's the 5 C's. The 5 C's are the ways that you meet people. It's church, camp, conferences, college, and then what's the 5th one? Now I can't even think of the 5th one. But there were we would always joke about these as kids, oh, the 5 C's, the 5 C's. So yeah, I met at summer camp, and yeah, just decided to get married and then decided to get divorced.
Yeah, it was the evangelical world you grew up in. Was that? Yeah, it was once you've done high school, now the next thing is find your man.
Yeah. I mean, I not everybody went to college. I think the majority decided to go to I'm trying to think through my Rolodex of friends back then. I'm yeah, I think most of them did, but there was definitely a segment of more conservative folks that I grew up with that did not go to college. So when I decided to come to Fargo, and that's how I came to Fargo, was for college because that boy lived here. Not all of my peers were also going to college.
Okay, now you do sound a little old because you had a 9-year marriage, you're a divorcee, and you use the word Rolodex.
Oh, no. I know. At what point in pop culture is Rolodex going to stop being a turn of phrase?
I wonder if it's similar to, do you think Gen Z know, when you say Rolodex, do you think they know what that means?
No, I've literally said it in work meetings, and my Gen Z colleagues will just kind of look at me with this blank stare of you just said an old thing. And
yeah, because in my mind I thought that maybe it would be it's a part of the lexicon where we get that just means your collection of contacts or whatever.
Right.
But I also think the save icon is always going to be a floppy disk, I feel but I think now people don't realize it's a floppy disk. They just realize that means save.
Right.
Yeah. But I guess maybe Rolodex hasn't quite hit the zeitgeist.
Right.
Zeitgeist? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I mean, yeah, what is it? My followers list. When I think of what is that other, my contacts? I don't know.
Contacts, I guess, is what I say.
I guess.
Yeah. Interesting. Now
what do the kids say these days?
What are the kids saying? Wow. Okay. So yeah. So you lost 160 pounds, and then suddenly your life was open and free to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And how did friends fit into that?
Oh, I was like spending so much time with friends. Got divorced, still had a dog, and my dog, who I recently had to put down, who made it to 16 years old at the time, in 2021, was 11. So I had this 11-year-old pit bull
Little
that was,
Zeusy.
Zooty Poo, who was, I always said, the worst. He was the best boy and the worst dog. Because he was just so naughty. He was so high strung. He just like required all of my focus. So I am really grateful that I had him during that time because he required me to maintain a lot of routine. And I think if it hadn't been for him, that time in my life would have just been like a chaotic flight of the bumblebee-esque, like running all over the place, trying new things, meeting new people, blah, 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 blah. So had Zeus and yeah, just like was able to allocate more time to friends. And so like you and Danielle and I at that point would like Wednesday taco night at
Yeah.
Dempsey's. And we'd go at 4 p.m. and then be there until like 11 p.m.,
Yeah.
like 10 p.m.
We would just like plant ourselves in like booth 3 and then
Yeah.
just live there for 6 hours.
Yep.
Drinking really cheap Casamigos sodas.
Which the price has increased. But back
I
then they were
know.
like $6. And I think the last time I went in, a single tall was $9.
We were so jaded. I remember 2 specific instances where we were so jaded with and with those prices where we went to the cities, I think once, and we were like, Casamigo soda with lime. And it was like $15. We
Yeah.
were like, what? This place is
What?
robbing us. But then even back in Fargo, we went to Vinyl Taco once and like Casamigos lime, Casamigo soda lime, and it was like $12 or $13. And we were
Yeah.
like,
What?
this is insane. Also, how is Dempsey's doing this? How are they able to afford this? It was wild.
Well, it's a matter of, I think, the number of beverages ordered on a daily, I don't know, like maybe they're able
and the
to
loyalty, I
quantity over,
guess.
I don't know, but whatever. At Dempsey's, if you're listening to this, please don't ever change your prices.
I was literally there last night and we had the same server that we usually always have. And she came by at one point and she was like, you're drinking really slow tonight. I was like, don't call me out in front of people.
See, this is the beautiful and also like most terrible thing about Fargo is that like you do just get to know people. Like you get to know people's habits and people's routines because you do see them so often.
Yeah.
In a bigger metro, people are, they have their like 20 spots that they're going to on a monthly basis and they just kind of rotate through. Here we have like 4 or 5. And so we're in those places more often. And then the staff and, the people who also frequent those places see you more often. So
Yeah, it's kind of nice, like I would say like obviously Harold's is where we're the most regular.
right.
I kind of feel like we just kind of own the place. But it is interesting when you end up going in other places in town where you don't quite realize you're a regular.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have those little moments where it's like, oh, like I obviously recognize those servers because it's the same server, but I feel like they just see so many people
Right.
that, I don't feel like I'm that memorable, but it's like a nice little, like, that's a little part that is like charming about
Yeah,
little small town feel of Fargo.
it's true.
I think going into like, that like it wasn't really post pandemic because it was only,
it
been
was
a
still
year.
kind of pandemic. Like
Yeah.
2021, spring of 2021 was still was like what, third wave pandemic or
Yeah.
whatever.
It was probably
So-
an ideal time for this connection to be happening
Oh, yeah.
because I think I was still very much, I kind of like my whole like being fresh to Fargo got stilted a little bit because of 2020.
Mhm.
So it was like kind of getting back into that like meeting people, figuring out what community is, yada,
Yeah.
yada.
Yep.
And I think that for everybody, it was like this weird sense of transition that we were all kind of going through together.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, there
having
was
these like new life experiences together.
right. Well, and like spring in Fargo is really fun because, the winters are so tough here. Like they're so, so tough. And so then spring comes and like literally my favorite day, not to keep name dropping Dempsey's, but my favorite day all spring is like the day where it's finally warm enough for them to prop open the front and the back doors. And there's this like waft of not altogether pleasant air. Like there is a scent of like refuse and cigarette smoke and car exhaust, but it's just like the vibes are so high. And so like 2021 getting to what we felt was like a manageable state of the pandemic, and then spring, and then I was suddenly so much lighter, and yeah, the rest is history. Now we're like BFFs, have a group chat that's ridiculously named.
I don't think we're allowed to say it on.
I don't think so, but
Actually, I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna bleep it because I've recently learned how to like bleep things on here.
oh, okay. Yeah, so I was looking through my phone today, and that's definitely the most hilarious group chat name that I have, but there's definitely some other ones. I just love a like silly little name for a group chat.
Yeah, I'm always terrified that I'll be accidentally share my whole screen, not just my window on a work call, and will come up.
Yep.
I also used to be in a group chat. We actually changed the name because an event like that happened, but I'm in a group chat with Mitch, Jake, and Rachel, and it used to be loose areolas, and we had to change it because that popped up on Mitch's screen one time. So now
that is always my fear. Like sometimes I will, like I'm using a cheap second monitor, and like in Google meetings or whatever, it has a really hard time like finding the screens on that monitor. So I do have to share my entire screen. And yeah, I have to like make sure that I have like everything silenced, do not disturb, no notifications before I share that, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Ugh, that is like, yeah, that's a big fear. And then there's like the thing that became a pandemic thing of the like accidentally like unmuting when you mean to mute because you
Oh
have to
yeah.
like sneeze or fart or something.
Run to the bathroom with your
Yeah.
computer and like be on a Zoom call.
Oh my God.
And
Remember those like terrifying videos of people where they thought they had like turned their camera off and they put
yes.
the like laptop on the floor while they're peeing or something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yep.
Those people's lives were changed that day.
They were indeed.
Let's go back to this. Talking about all this, let's go back to the smell thing for a second, because one thing I think I forgot to put deodorant on today.
We always are asking each other or
I
telling each
know.
other that we forgot. I literally, when I put on deodorant today, I was like, Scotty's going to be so proud of me that I remembered to put on deodorant.
Well, and I don't smell anything, but I feel like my armpits feel like I didn't put deodorant on.
Yep.
So that's fun.
Not quite as like slick
Yeah.
as when you have deodorant.
And
you have like armpit hair.
I know.
I shaved this morning, so.
Oh well, I've never done that before.
Shave your armpit hair?
No.
No, why do it?
Yeah. Well, in the South, I always considered it because it gets so humid down there that you just like you walk out the door and you're just dripping in sweat.
Yeah.
And I'm like sweaty person.
But doesn't like, isn't it like arm hair and like hair, like all of that like actually helps wick moisture away from your body?
I don't know.
Which is
I kind
ridiculous.
of thought
Why
that
like
maybe it didn't. I don't know.
I don't know.
I considered getting I've never done Botox before, but when I lived in Atlanta, I'd considered maybe trying that
In your armpits
just to
yeah.
see.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, at the same time, your body's supposed to sweat, so I
Right.
don't know what the like the balance there is.
Yeah.
But when you said the Dempsey's thing with the doors open and like the smells and stuff, I lately have been like obsessed with like connections to, I don't know if it's because of this whole project or what, but like the things that bring up memories to you.
Mm-hmm.
And actually last night when I was out and about downtown, you could smell the beats, and like that's such a like specific Fargo thing to me now. That like I don't mind it. I know a lot of people don't like the way it smells, but there's something kind of comforting about it to me. But I was like, it was making, whenever you said that thing about Dempsey's, it was making me think about, yeah, like even like gross smells, there's something weird about the way it like brings you home sometimes, depending on it. Like
I feel like smell is our most like memory triggering sense.
Yeah, like I know people talk about like places like New York and stuff are just like kind of disgusting, but there's also something weirdly nice about being like in the bustle of like a city.
Oh
and
yeah,
you can just smell all the gross smells. And
definitely.
Like, yeah.
I do want to clarify for anybody who doesn't understand what the beets reference. So our like Red River Valley, they like harvest or are able to grow like ridiculous amounts of sugar beets, which are different than like the red beets that you would eat, stewed or roasted or raw or whatever. Right. So these are sugar beets, and they're massive. They're white. During the harvest season, sugar beet trucks like race from the fields to the processing areas, and occasionally will drop beets on the ground, and they harvest in fall right before it gets really, really cold. And so sometimes these beets are frozen, and I have actually popped a tire hitting a frozen sugar beet on the road. But the processing smell of the sugar beets, and the reason that it smells is because the American Crystal Sugar Factory is just across the river in Moorhead. So when they're processing it, it smells like wet paper that's like room temperature warm, or like maybe just a little bit. It's not burning. It's not like a smoky smell. It's like a sweet, kind of like fibrous, like a little bit, like a little bit acidic, maybe.
You're kind of hitting on it. It doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna say something, and it doesn't actually smell like this, but I think you'll like like the taste of a baby corn.
Yeah.
There's something about that.
Yeah.
It's like those same kind of notes.
Right. So I don't know, like sometimes when I taste things or I smell things, like I assign them colors.
Mm.
And so the like smell of the sugar beets processing for me is like a really like mauve color.
Yeah. Oh, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun game. What would you say the taste of Diet Coke? What color is that?
The taste of Diet Coke. Um, hold on, let me take a sip.
Yeah,
I
let's
need
both take a
to.
sip.
Okay, let's take a sip and see.
I swallowed really loud on purpose for the.
I know. I tried to let it gurgle.
Oh wait, we should do it like the more the Coke thing though.
Oh yeah. Okay, hold on.
Now my notes here, people can't see you, but you did not have the. I also didn't do this, but you didn't have the label facing the right way. But if you really think about it, there's no
Is
way to.
there a right way?
Well, like in the commercials, you want the label to be facing out towards the camera. There's no way to drink. Hold your Diet Coke up with
Yeah,
the label
but if
facing
they
out.
wanted that,
Yeah, the spout or opening, whatever, is on the other. There's no way to do that.
right? So like, if they wanted us
Oh
to
wait,
do that,
I
then
guess I could turn.
yeah, maybe it's supposed to. It's oh, I think it's made for like right-hand people. I don't know.
Oh, that makes sense. We
Interesting.
are the majority of the world.
Okay, so the color of
That
Diet
color
Coke,
Diet Coke.
I feel like tastes, or yeah, it tastes like kind of a red-based burgundy, not a blue-based where it's like more maroon, like it's like, much more cool tone. It's like a warm tone, dark red color.
Now, do you think that you're being manipulated by Coke being red?
I know. I thought about that briefly in my internal monologue thinking about this question, and no.
All right. And that's that.
Next question.
Yeah. That's so funny. Have you ever done a color study where they like test like the seasons or whatever?
Oh my gosh, way back. So,
way back. I thought this was like a new thing.
no, it's not a new thing at all. So it's based off of this thing. I think it's called Color Me Pretty, I think is what it's called. And the same moms that were like really into selling Mary Kay back in the like 90s were also really into getting their colors done. And so back in the night, like this would have been like, I don't know, really early 2000s maybe. I would have been like 10, 11 or so. I grew up in 4-H my whole life. We didn't have animals. We didn't live in like, we didn't have a farm or anything. So I did all of the like not rural, like not farming 4-H things.
This is Elk River, right?
Yeah. So Sherburne County, Minnesota, shout out. And yeah, in our like family and consumer science meetings or whatever, they had a consultant come in to do the colors. But I was like, again, I was like 10 years old. I didn't like, I don't know. I feel like that's not the best representation. So I want to do it again, but people who do it charge so much money. Like they charge a lot. It's like $90 or something for somebody to like put colored fabric on your chest and be like, you're a spring. And you're like, no. But I am a true autumn. I do know that.
So does that mean what kind of color should you be wearing?
Like mossy greens and like burnt oranges.
This makes sense because I feel like those colors do make your attributes pop.
Yeah. I'm not technically supposed to wear true black. If I want to do black, it's supposed to be a soft black, but like, fuck the color wheel. I'm wearing what I want.
I remember somebody, it might have been Libby Jordan. I don't remember, saying they went and did it and they were almost like upset about it because it said they should wear a lot of red or something. And they just like they never wanted to wear red.
Who was that? I remember somebody saying
But then they decided to try it out and they realized like, oh,
it's right.
This looks good on me.
No, literally my like nightmare is it being like a summer and having to wear like pastels and like bright colors. Ugh, terrible.
Yeah, see, I don't want to wear. I don't usually wear a lot of red because I think my skin has too much pink in it. But I'm not really drawn to like oranges or yellows or anything. Like I'm definitely.
That's true. You're a blue boy.
Yeah,
blues and greens.
I'm kind of getting more into like maybe browns, but that's
how daring of you.
I know I'm really branching out. What if you had thought about our friendship? What color would you assign to our friendship?
Oh, interesting. I don't know that I've ever thought about that before. I think, and this is based on like a very specific memory, but like the Space Cowboys Halloween party that you did in 2022, or was that October of 2021?
I think that was
2020. That was 2021.
It was 2021.
That was like I had just met Anthony. So that party, there's a couple of photos that we applied some like really cutesy of the time filters to. And I feel like there's like a really beautiful dark blue that's just like
Hmm.
classy but fun and sparkly. And like that's the color I would use to describe our group chat.
Yeah, I like that. I was at that time I was really obsessed with using that like Fujifilm filter
Yep.
thing.
It had a time. It had
Yeah.
a time and a place. Like, I think it's fun to look back at those photos and be like, oh, that's when I was into that.
Yeah, and it was a lot cheaper than buying an actual disposable camera and trying to get
Right.
that same effect.
Oh, for sure.
I forgot that was wait, so was that party after you met Anthony or before?
So I met Anthony was it October 11th?
Oh, so it was like so it was just
October
after
10th?
that.
No, I think it was October 10th. It was 10/10/2021.
Okay.
I guess it was technically 10/9, but it was like right before midnight.
Yeah.
So, and 10/10 has like a more fun.
We'll say it was 10/10.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that party was
like a week or two later.
Yeah,
Because
right
it
around
wasn't
it was
on Oh, I
I
think
think
it
it was
was
Friday before Halloween because that
you're
was
absolutely
like,
right.
yeah,
Because the next day we went to Gavin and Danielle's
Yep.
on actual Halloween proper to
right.
do candy and that kind
Yep.
of stuff.
Yep. And we were
Wow,
all
okay, yeah.
like hungover and like not our best.
Yeah, it kind of
form.
worked out because I remember Tanner left his car. Well, so the Halloween party, we told everyone to show up. This is like we felt so secretive and like we were so excited for this party
Mhm.
because we were like everyone's gonna show up and they were like the spaceship's gonna leave at this time.
Well, and the brief was space cowboys. So you were either supposed to come as space or a cowboy,
Yeah.
which, revolutionary at the time, had never been done before. I'm being sarcastic,
Well,
but now it's like a major theme, I feel like. For
we
these
did
parties.
we felt really proud of ourselves because we picked this theme, and then that same year the Kardashians had a Halloween party and that
That's
was
right.
the theme, and
You
but
did it
their party was
first.
after ours, so in the span of 48 hours we influenced them somehow.
What was it? Was it Dottie's parties? Parties by Dottie?
Oh, well, Dottie's.
Dottie's.
We did have a longer name, Dottie's, yeah. But the whole reason we had this idea, and then we decided one day, we both like left work early. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my
I
job's
think
at,
you went to
like,
Dempsey's. You left work early and you went to Dempsey's, and then you like went to the dollar store or something.
we went to
wasn't it?
Space Aliens. We left
That's right,
Dempsey's,
that's right,
and then we
that's
went to
right.
Space Aliens
Yep.
literally to play the arcade games to get some of the space themed things
Yep.
that we could then turn into our invites. To
Yep.
send
And I
them
have
out.
that photo of like you and Danielle. It's like taken down low, your face is up above, with like you're holding a little alien and Danielle's holding like a space alien's cup, like the
Yeah.
purple to go cup or whatever. And like you're taking it outside of my apartment door to like let me know to come down and get the door. And I was like, hello. And then you like gave me the invite and then ran away.
We had to do it really fast too because there was some sort of I think it was just a board meeting. It was earlier in the week or the week before because we had an AAF board dinner at worst because someone
Yeah.
was in town.
I feel like the amount of buy-in that we all had with such short notice was truly like that set
Yeah.
the precedent for all of our like now. I feel like if I don't have a 2-month notice for a
I
theme
know.
party, I'm like, ugh, I don't have energy.
And we
for
have so
this.
many theme parties.
We do. And
Yeah.
like back then, that was like the first really big one, I feel like.
Yeah.
And we had like, what, a week and a half notice. And we
Yeah,
all
it
just
was
like
a
pulled it
a
together.
quick turnaround. Yeah.
It was so much fun. And then, yeah, I remember like getting to Danielle's. We're all in our like cute little fun outfits and stuff. And then at
Your
one
outfit
point,
was you definitely were best dressed the night.
thank
It
you.
was
Thank
amazing.
you so much. I aim to be best dressed at most of these things. But yeah, you like burst through the door and you were like, the spaceship is here, bitches. And we were like, what is going on? And we look out the front door and there's a white stretch Hummer limo.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God.
My favorite person.
It was broad daylight. It was like
Yeah.
5 p.m. at this point.
Yeah. 5 or 6.
It was
and
early.
Also, whenever we made that reservation for that, we were very clear about where we were supposed to go.
Yep.
But when I paid for it with my card or whatever, my address was attached to that.
Right.
So the limo called us to tell us it was there, and we were like, "Where are you?" And it was at my apartment downtown.
Oh.
But my favorite person's reaction to that was Tanner Tweeton's face of reluctance, but also like excitement because now he was like locked into the night. Like you're all in for the long haul now.
And I was 29 at the point. 29-year-old me loved to carpool. 34-year-old me, I can't.
Yeah, because now you're basically everyone was
you're
stuck.
locked in.
You're
yeah,
stuck.
and you're like at the whims of whoever's driving.
And we hadn't told anyone where we were going either. We ended up
nobody
going to.
And then we did the Ix tour.
Yeah, we did Rick's first, which I think everyone was like, "This is weird."
I loved it. I thought it was fun, but I love a dive bar. I can make friends with an old man, no problem.
Yeah, and like the people watching aspect of that, knowing that we were being watched was kind of fun, but also like just getting to see what kind of people go to a place like Rick's,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
We did, Rick's, then Vic's. Vic's did not like us.
No.
And then Mix was fun. That was my first time at Mix.
Mix was really fun, but like by that point, we all desperately needed a burger.
Yeah.
And that's all I remember is that it was the best burger of my entire life. Like, I literally don't remember anything else about Mix aside from like shoving my face into this burger.
Yeah, that was my first mixed burger experience too.
Yep.
I also witnessed Gavin accidentally drinking the beer pong cup instead of his own beer cup. And that was disgusting.
Oh.
Because those cups have probably been sitting out there forever with gross room temperature water. That
and like the ping pong balls that are like going everywhere.
Yeah, the look on his face was memorable. And then we randomly had like an extra hour to kill. So the driver took us to, Sabin, Minnesota?
No, not the driver. Tanner decided that we were going to go out to Sabin, Minnesota, which was like 25 minutes away.
That's right.
To this tiny little, like, it's a small town bar. It's the only bar in the small town. And so
it's called like the Tar Heel or something.
Can you say that?
I don't know. Is that bad?
I don't
know. My southern show.
Yeah, exactly. But we like walk into this space, and the reason that Tanner wanted to go there was because his sister was there, his brother was there, like some of his family was there, and so he was like, "Let's go here." But the thing with the small town dive bar on a Friday night is that like it functions as the community center, and it was still like early enough in the evening. I think it was like 9 p.m. at this point. It's still early enough in the evening that there are kids there. Like, that's where people are going to eat dinner because it's the only place. So we all walk in. I'm in, like, green body paint. Like, my face and any, like, visible part of my body is painted green because I was Gamora, or a loose interpretation thereof. And I'm wearing, like, a silver iridescent cat suit with, like, a little, like, bubblegum, holster. And my hair's up.
This suit was showing off your curves.
Oh, amazing. It was amazing. I definitely sent a picture to Anthony early days, and I'm sure that's what latched it. Yeah, that's what got it. But yeah, we all walk in, and every single person in this like incredibly well lit bar turns to look at us, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" And at this point, we'd been to 3 places. We'd each had at minimum 3 drinks. I'm just going to leave it there. And by that point, like, we're all feeling it. And so we like walk into this space, and like, we probably were seemingly rude because like we were turned up, and like this bar was like, that's not the vibe. So
the vibe of that bar, it felt like after church potluck.
Yeah.
With like 6-foot like pop-up tables and stuff. Yeah, it was interesting.
I'm sure that it's a perfectly lovely place. And like after
Crowbar, I just looked it up.
Crowbar. There we go. Yep, that's what it was. Shout out, sorry. Yeah. I think that's like, that's the second small town bar that I've, for all intents and purposes, been asked to leave for being a bit too big city.
Well, you know.
I got kicked out of I shouldn't say kicked out. We were politely asked to leave the Wild Rice Bar in like 2014, I think, because it was a bachelorette party. We all drove down there, multiple stops and whatever, and we went to the Wild Rice Bar before we were going to go to the Knickerbocker Liquor Locker. And this was a different time in my life, okay? So we go down to
these places. Interesting.
We went down to Wild Rice Bar, and we knew it was karaoke night, and so we were like, amazing. So we're getting up there singing karaoke. We're singing like Backstreet Boys and Madonna and like all sorts of fun, of the time pop songs. And people started heckling us, being like, this is country only karaoke. And we were like, are there signs? Like, is that the rules? Like, what's going on here? And the host was like, well, it's not like a hard and fast rule, but it's understood. And like, what you're singing isn't really appreciated by all of our regulars. And we're like, okay. Well, then the bride started like mouthing off to people and like getting mad. And so we had to like restrain her, had to leave. At one point and that night we ended up at the Bulldog Tavern down in South Fargo, and a man with a puka shell necklace spit on my blue suede boots. Yeah. And so I got him kicked out that night.
Wow. Oh, what a night.
Yeah.
I wish there were cameras back then. I'd love to have seen all that.
Way back in the day, in the olden days.
Did you ever, so we both, a shared experience that we have is the Chamber Leadership Program.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all do a party bus situation with your cohort?
We did not. We did we did like a big barbecue at one of the people's houses, and he made a brisket, and it was really, really good. And I jokingly called him Brisket Daddy right in front of his girlfriend, and she was not happy about that.
Oh, Brisket Daddy.
Whoopsies!
And next time we see him in public, you have to point him out. I want to know who Brisket Daddy
Well, he's on
is.
billboards around town, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll point him out.
Okay.
Well, this brings me up to a good point about something in our friendship that I just find hilarious, is that I was thinking about this the other day. There are those who gesture and those who point.
Oh, God.
And I am a gesturer. I motion to things. I extend an arm and maybe an open palm hand to be like, look at that over there. You, Scottie, and I didn't know this until our LA trip, but you take your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky, and you press them into the palm of your hand, and you cover them with your thumb so that the index finger is left like very prominently pointing, and then you point at things.
Because I want to make sure you know where. I want you to know exactly where you're supposed to be looking for whatever important thing that I have to say. And I'm really good at recovering. If the person that we're pointing at looks, I just move my hand up to the ceiling. Look at that beam up there. Have you ever seen a beam so beautiful?
I bet it's hickory.
I honestly didn't realize that this was a problem in my life until more recent years.
I don't think it's a problem. It's just a distinction.
It's a little bit of a problem. I think I probably get myself in trouble with it more than I realize.
Well, that and your inability to whisper.
Yeah.
You're just not, like, when I think of like demure people, I don't think about Kendrick.
That's
Scott
fair.
Nolan.
I think that's because I just have really important things to say and share.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to know about it.
It's true. Right.
If I'm going to gossip behind your back, you may as well find out,
Right.
Yeah, that's something I need to have some like self-control when it comes to those things, or just be better. I do appreciate that the more aware I've become of it and the more aware my friends that I spend most of my time with are with it.
But then you like point at something and realize that you're pointing and you go, Gah! And then
cause
stop
more attention. Yeah. I feel like now when we sit down at a restaurant, like say me, you, Spencer, and Danielle go to Rosewild or something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now when we sit down at the table, I kind of feel like I end up in a seat. I feel like y'all are either conspiring outside of me, or it's just a subconscious thing that I end up sitting in a seat where I can't see that many things to point at, and then y'all just tell me what I'm not seeing, what I'm missing.
Well, then you very indiscreetly turn around, whip your head around.
Well, yeah.
Much to the chagrin of Spencer specifically. I find it hilarious.
He'll be like, okay, you can look now. And I don't know how to just like subtly look. I'm like, I got to take it when I get it.
You whip your head around and you're bug eyes and you're like,
excited.
Oh my God.
It might be the wine too. I don't know.
It
but I get a little excited.
It's true.
I do love going. I love like my routine in Fargo or kind of like how our friend group just kind of like know how we want to like spend an evening together, and it's usually around like food and drinks.
There's a level of comfort to it. Sometimes I think sometimes I know we all are like, oh, it'd be so nice to live in a bigger city, but it also is kind of nice to know that like if we're going out, there's never going to be a question of like, oh, where are we going next? And we like literally don't know, or we're like, oh, we don't want to drive that far. We're like, nope, these are our spots. This is what we're doing.
We know how to find the vibe that we're wanting to find.
Yeah.
And I think we all feel pretty comfortable telling each other what kind of vibe we're wanting. If we're wanting something a little crazier, we'll go to Reuters or something, or VFW if we want better like people watching or something, and or drawing room if we're wanting something a little more intimate.
Right.
But I do like the fact that it kind of all like, I feel like we all appreciate like a good meal, a good cocktail, whatever. But I also
just need
like
there to be a wine bar.
I know.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Actually, whenever what was it? What did I just see? Something.
Oh, Maddie and Tempo are throwing a Natty Wine Bar rooftop party.
Yeah, are you going to that?
Of course.
I'm going to go as well.
Yeah.
And now that Babs is moving, that opens up that spot over on Main.
That would be such a cute little spot for a natural wine bar.
Yeah, and I think that would complement
what else is there?
Front Street and Rhombus and everything really well.
Yeah.
It could kind of be like a little like higher experience than those. What I was going to say though is I also love when we do have more like intimate things like at your house and stuff. You are an incredible cook. How did you learn how to cook? Is it your 9 years of marriage? Like
no,
what is it?
Not at all. So, I was asked this by somebody else a couple of months ago, which then prompted, just like thinking back in retrospection about like how this all happened. And I'm the oldest of 8 kids. My mom cooked with like quantity in mind. Not that it was bad, but like, there's only so many delicious things that you can make for 10 people, 8 of them being under the age of, 14, that then you're like assured that they're going to eat and they're going to be satisfied and whatever. So I grew up on a lot of what we called goulash, which is just like noodles, hamburger, canned tomatoes.
Wow.
Ta-da. There's dinner. Sometimes I had cheese on it, sometimes not. Um, and so when I moved out for college, I really didn't know much about cooking at all. Like I had never really experimented with cooking. In fact, the first meal that I ever made, I moved up here for college, lived in an apartment right away. I didn't live in dorms, so I made myself dinner and I made myself spaghetti. But I made enough spaghetti for 10 people because I had no comprehension of like how to cook outside of that quantity. So you're like, you're just going about and you like dump a whole thing of noodles in there and you like a whole thing of, red sauce and a whole whatever of hamburger. And I was like, oh my God, I have enough spaghetti for weeks. And, you're broke college student. So I ate every scrap of those leftovers. But it wasn't really actually until COVID that I started like really learning how to cook and not just, seeing a recipe that I wanted to make or like relying on a cookbook or something. Like that's when I really started like trying to learn how to cook and like how to prepare different types of meats and how to make different types of sauces and not just following recipes, but like really getting into the science of cooking. So in 2020, during COVID, I downloaded the New York Times cooking app back when it was good, and would do a new recipe that taught me like a new skill every week. And then that's how I got introduced to Allison Roman. And Allison Roman's been a huge inspiration in my cooking journey and how I think about food and like, what types of food I like. And then, yeah, now it's to the point where like I'll see a recipe on TikTok and like, some things I still don't know, but like for the most part, I like know enough about the techniques of things that I can recreate it at home and make it to taste. So yeah, I love cooking. I love bringing a smile to people's faces with food.
Yeah, I've never like had a bad meal at your house at all, but I also always appreciate that you're gonna expose me to something that I either have never eaten before, or just a new way of a dish being prepared or
Mhm.
served, or just I don't know. Even like the other day, whenever me and Danielle were together and you made those rice bowls, there was something like unique about that. It was such a simple recipe in the
Mhm.
grand scheme, but the way it came together, even if you were just following a recipe, it just there was something about it that I was like, oh, like I don't think this intentionally when I'm like
Yeah.
making something, and I don't I think that's like I actually think about that in that time period, not to get existential here, but there's something kind of interesting about you making that choice to, like, invest yourself into something you realized that you wanted to learn more about or
Yeah.
to get better at or to just open your, like, eyes to something new. I feel like that kind of happened in a lot of facets of your life all around that same kinda time,
Yeah.
and, I think that's something that's kind of inspiring to, like, your friends is seeing how intentional you are, about things that you're interested in or,
Thank
I
you.
wanna make this life this choice with my career or something, and then you figure out a way to prioritize that in a way that still allows you to have these other things, but there's something about putting yourself on the right pedestal that I think a lot of people aren't brave enough to do,
Aw, thanks.
um, and I think that, obviously, some of life's adventures, I'll say, aren't
Yeah.
always the most fun, but, I think that, in hindsight, I think it's great that you kind of
Yeah.
went through some of the things you did in your life to get to this place where
Oh,
now
for
you
sure.
have this kind of ownness over who you are.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was very sweet.
Yeah, you're
I'm
welcome.
trying to get better about taking compliments. So I'm literally sitting on my hands so that I don't give you the finger guns and be like, right back at you, bud. No, that is very kind. Thank you. I can tell that you know me quite well. Yeah, I think, every experience is an opportunity, and it's either an opportunity to develop like a bad taste in your mouth or, hard feelings or a bad experience. But yeah, I mean, I think everything that we go through is an opportunity for us to learn something from it. So I try to think about like, you know, with different opportunities, whether that's relationships or jobs or whatnot. Like, what can I learn from this? And try to learn something useful from it, even if like the situation itself is really hard. So like, as far as as far as we're concerned, um, we started on the board together, Stonewall Sports Fargo, or Stonewall Sports North Dakota. And is it Fargo or North Dakota?
Fargo.
Okay, Fargo. Yeah, I was really engaged in the board.
Yeah. Yeah. She had a really big hand in all that.
Yeah. But like, and that experience was turbulent for a little while, but the opportunity there and like what I learned from that is that I feel like I had never had an opportunity to argue with somebody who like cared about me and like could have heated arguments and then wouldn't treat me any differently. Like still loved me at my core. Like I as a child was not allowed to argue, no back talk, like that was disobedience, whatever. In previous relationships, I'd never felt the, freedom to be able to argue. And so I truly, that was such a formative experience with you because you and I bicker. Like we
Yeah.
argue about things because we both have such strong opinions and such strong feelings and also have like really valid perspectives that then sometimes don't align. And so I appreciate so much like the opportunity that we had to argue through that experience because like that has helped me too to understand that like I can voice an opinion and know that somebody's going to disagree and that's okay.
Especially whenever like the goal is shared. Like it was
Yeah.
Stonewall specifically, we were trying to do something that was going to provide such a positive impact, and there was so much at stake. It kind of felt like
Right.
in that way. That thing kind of led to some of that passion. But you're right, even on like a surface level, we can have differing opinions on a Met Gala look or something, and we can bicker even about that. But it's all from a place of, I don't know, mutual respect. I feel like that
Yeah.
makes it work.
No, I truly mean this, Scotty. I don't think that I've ever had a relationship like that allows me to feel so free to like, strongly express my feelings and then have somebody like counter that with theirs and be able to have dialogue. Like our relationship and like our ability to do that is the strongest one I have.
Should we have an argument right now?
I'm trying to think, what should we argue about?
Argue about.
Everybody's probably like, what did they argue? It was the silliest things. It was like,
it would be, yeah.
it was like the fabric content of t-shirts.
Yeah.
And you were like, these are too thin, they show my nipples. And I was like, these are too thick, they're going to be too hot. And like, we would just argue about it and then we would like come to a resolution. I'm sure everybody else in the room was just like, oh my God, like this could have been an email.
At least we were providing something,
Yeah.
And
let it never be said about us that we didn't contribute.
That's true, yeah. And usually our compromise met in the middle,
Yeah.
and my nipples were okay in the shirt we were wearing, and it wasn't too thick, Yeah, I think that finding those people in your life where you can kind of just be you, I mean, that's a pretty rare thing because I
Yeah.
think even the people you feel like the most genuine with, there's usually some sort of eggshell you feel like you're walking on or something.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to be whenever you found. I don't know. I feel like even my closest friends now, I don't feel like everybody I'm on that same kind of level with. So I really, I also appreciate that. Let's just keep saying nice things about each other.
I like
back
it.
and forth.
That's nice.
Do you think that like when you think about your more recent, let's talk about like, the last 5 years, like
Sure,
since you
sure.
kind of made this, like your life has changed. You're now like approaching life differently. Your career has like blossomed in an incredible way.
Thank you.
How do you feel like you show up to like not, well, to kind of, I guess this is a twofold question. How do you feel like you show up to allow yourself to go along with opportunities? And is some of that manufactured in a good way of like, you're like manifesting something, you're like, I know I want this, I'm just going to figure out a way to do it? Or have you found this kind of like secret formula to like, I even think about like the Anthony thing, like you and Anthony meeting and your love story is such a like movie situation that no one like that's
we had a meet cute.
That's
it
what
was fun.
And that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
And those never actually happen.
Yeah.
And do you think that's because of the way you just live your life?
That is an excellent question. So, this is brought to you by therapy. I know about myself that I operate from like a fear-based perspective almost all the time. I am always thinking about, even recently, 2 weeks ago, we got a puppy. And thinking about getting a puppy, I'm going through like all of the repercussions, all of the considerations, like all of the potential issues and downsides. And like, I'm thinking about like, oh, we want to take a vacation in August. So does it make sense to get a puppy in April? Blah, blah. I'm like overthinking all of those things, which is not bad. I think that that is a strength of mine to be able to like reason through situations and like look at things through a like really, really um, zoomed in lens. But then it's also really, over the past 5 years, I have started to more intentionally recognize when I'm making those fear based decisions and trying to counter that and being like, telling internal monologue, like, that's totally valid. But like, what would happen if you just did that thing? Or like, what would happen if you just took this opportunity? And then trying to like think through all of the potential, like beneficial, repercussions and like all of the like great possibilities that might come. So I think like it's definitely been a journey and I still do operate in fear a lot of times, but it's definitely not as much as it used to be, even like 5 years ago. Um, so yeah, I don't like making wrong decisions. So I've been trying to reframe that about like you can make like better decisions or, poorer decisions. Um, I'm just trying to like keep my North Star towards the better decisions, but then also like understanding that something that could have been the right thing at one time might be the wrong thing at another time, and the opposite, vice versa. Um,
Yeah, there's kind of
so
almost like an attitude of I feel like with you again because I feel like you're very careful with trying to achieve the things you want to achieve, and I think you put yourself in a great position in your life to get to figure that out.
yeah,
But I also I wonder if some of that is having the recollection of this is also like it's happening, so like
yeah.
now I just got to like move on.
Well,
Like I
exactly.
your story of like when you're in Tokyo for work
Yeah,
and it was just like a comedy of errors of like coffee and just everything.
it's
There was
ridiculous.
like you just kind of have to like
Yeah,
it all had to get done, so you just kind of have to like, well, I guess this is what my day now looks
right.
like, you know.
Yeah, I'll keep that story for listeners if you want to come up to me at a bar and ask me about my harrowing day in Tokyo this last fall. No, I think that, again, like if you keep opening yourself up to experiences and try to learn something from it and try to grow from it, um, your ability to face new situations is going to grow. I like have this idea for a TED talk that I've never given before, but it's all about um, your ability to grow your capacity. So, like, I don't believe that it's possible to do anything more than 100%, like mathematically, like you're 100%, what you perceived to be more than 100% is actually just like you realizing that your 100% was more than what you thought it was. And so I'm always trying to like grow my knowledge base, grow my experiences, like grow my capacity. Um, and so, yeah, just like having gone through all the different things that I have and had so many different amazing, incredible trials, like troublesome, challenging experiences to be able to grow from that and learn from that and understand that like literally whatever comes up, I'll be able to figure out.
What do you think is like the next thing that you want to see happen in your life?
Oh, Lord. Well, I really want to get my backyard landscaping done.
Okay.
But on a higher level, it's a good question. I don't think I have any like really big, huge goals at the moment. Like life is good. I think
Mhm.
we're okay. If 2026, like 2025, we bought a house. So if 2026 didn't have any like major life changes, I'd be totally fine with that. I'm transitioning into a new job, into a new role at my company in June. So I really want to like crush that.
It's interesting. You're not the only person I've talked to lately that I don't know if it's a generational thing just because our entire lives have just been like chaotic, it feels like with the world
Mm-hmm.
around us, or
Mm-hmm.
if it's even just the past like half decade that we've all gone through where it's
Yeah.
just like, ugh, can't we just have like a normal year where like
Yeah.
it's just boring?
Right.
I feel like a lot of people are kind of feeling that way about this year. Like, let's just have a year where like we just all exist and like we just have life and that's it, you
Yeah,
know?
like, Maddie and I were talking about this. We were like, what if we just gave like 1 day notice of things that we were like,
Yeah.
hey, tomorrow I'm going to the park for a
Yeah.
picnic. And like maybe our hesitancy to agree to things without enough notice is being perpetuated by like feeling like we have to give extended notice of things.
Yeah.
So what if we just like were more spontaneous and like embraced it and forced ourselves to do that? So yeah,
I think we all could use a little more freedom too to like change our minds.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I as someone who constantly overcommits, specifically socially,
yeah,
and that's something I need to talk more in therapy about. Is why do I do that to myself? I think the downside of that is I also have a hard time like saying no to something after I've already
Yeah.
said yes.
Yep.
And I feel like there's an appropriate amount of time to get yourself out of something that
Yeah.
you've already committed to. That I just don't allow myself to have those same that same freedom, I guess.
Yep.
But if we all felt a little more free to that too, then it'd be like, there's the rooftop thing next week.
Yep.
As of right now, I'm going to go, but who knows? On Thursday, maybe I'm just exhausted. It's been a long week, and I just kind of need one night in before the weekend.
And I think that's totally fair.
Yeah,
but you just have to let yourself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people feel like, well, I said yes, I got to go, and or people don't commit at all because they don't want to get caught in that, and then it's like, well, that doesn't help either.
Yeah, I'm almost perpetually these days a maybe on everything. And then there's like, if it's certain types of things or certain people, I'm like, yes, I will be there. Absolutely. Like if Danielle invites me to something, I'm going to be there. If you invite me to something, I'm going to be there. If there are people that invite me to things that I'm like, I'll give it my best shot. I'll try.
Yeah. It's also different when it's like an event as opposed to like, hey guys, tomorrow night, do you have plans? Let's go grab dinner. Do you guys want to do dinner? Like those are like two very different things too.
It's true. It's true. I don't want to ever be perceived to be flaky, which I fear sometimes people do, just because I'm like, I'm not going to commit to something that I don't want to go to or in the moment, like don't have time for. And also like the window to get my perennials in the ground is quickly closing, and all my weekends must be reserved for landscaping. So sorry. I'll see you all in June.
You're reminding me that I have been telling everyone that I was going to do
your herb garden. Yes.
I haven't bought anything for it.
Babes, let's go to Lowe's. Let's go.
Am I running out of time?
No, not at all. You just need to get them into the ground so that they can grow.
I want to do that, and I also want to get a little like I was at someone's house and they had a little like window bird feeder. Oh, it was Maddie and Brandy at their apartment.
Yeah, so cute.
I want to do something like that too because I feel like Norman would love to see a little bird pop up on our
Rucker loves watching birds. He just like sits out on the porch and watches birds nonstop. It's so cute.
Rucker.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're almost at time.
Do you have like some rapid fire quick questions for me?
Should we? All right. Let's do a word association thing. I'm just gonna like ask something, and you just first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right. Favorite color?
Yellow.
Favorite fish?
Tuna.
To eat or to see?
To eat.
Favorite fish to see at an aquarium?
The anemones. It's not a fish, but
that works. Little Nemo. Favorite state that's not North Dakota or Minnesota?
Maine.
Maine. Why?
Because of oysters and mussels and seafood and dips in the harbor and seeing Martha Stewart in Bar Harbor, and I don't know, I just love it.
If you could be friends with one celebrity, not Martha Stewart, who would it be?
Dakota Johnson.
Wow, good answer. What was your favorite movie you saw last year?
Last year, 2025, it was Civil War.
Oh wow, interesting choice. Okay.
I said that like a little bit too excitedly, but I was just proud that I remembered it.
Sarah loves Civil War.
I love conflict.
If we lived in the 1800s in the Civil War, what side would you be on?
Oh my God. Of course the North, duh. I would be a railroad operator for sure.
What's your favorite thing about Anthony?
My favorite thing about Anthony is probably when he spontaneously bursts into song like in our house and I can hear him anywhere else in our house.
What's your least favorite thing about Anthony? Just kidding. Don't answer. Don't answer that.
Okay, I will.
If you could give all of your friends one piece of advice, what would you give them?
My advice for all of my friends would be just do it. The Nike slogan.
Profound words from Sarah.
How can I rephrase that? That's not a corporate slogan. Yeah. Take the chance.
I like to think that your mind went through every corporate slogan you could think of. Like, I'm loving it. Have it your way. Just do it.
Just do it. That's the one. No, okay. Take a chance. How about that?
There we go. Take a chance. I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Whenever I have like really big life decisions, I put on Take a Chance on Me by ABBA, and I just like hype myself up, and then I make the decision.
I wish I had a budget to play that right now.
Oh yeah, true. What if you like? What if somebody strummed it on a ukulele?
Boom, boom.
Dun 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 dun.
If we get sued by ABBA, that'd be amazing. Cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I love you as always. I'll see you this weekend.
Cheers.
All right, cheers our Diet Coke. Let's do one more Diet Coke drink.
One more Diet Coke
our maroon
drink. All right.
drink here.